Before you go, I have one question for you. Where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. I'd love to know how far this story is traveling. If today's episode made your heart skip a beat or left you wanting more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss what's coming tomorrow. Trust me, the next part is something you won't want to miss. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next story. Logan had never considered himself a jealous man. He believed he was rational, calm under pressure, and confident in the relationship he shared with Ava. But something had begun to shift recently, something he couldn't quite explain. It started on a Thursday evening. The sun was beginning to dip behind the hills of San Diego, casting warm gold light through the blinds of their apartment. Ava had just finished getting ready for a work event, a networking mixer at a downtown hotel about 20 miles away. She looked beautiful, glowing in a navy blue dress and heels that clicked lightly against the floor as she moved around the room. Logan smiled, but there was a tightness in his chest he couldn't ignore. He tried to push it down. "You sure it won't run too late?" he asked casually, watching her fix her hair in the mirror. "It shouldn't," she replied, glancing at him through the reflection. "Starts at 6, probably ends around 9. I'll text you when I'm on the way back, okay?" He nodded, trying to appear unfazed. But as the door clicked shut behind her, an odd silence settled in. He stared at the spot she had just stood in, questioning why he suddenly felt uneasy. The hours passed slowly. He flipped through channels on the TV, then gave up and scrolled on his phone. 10 minutes passed, then 20, then 40. Still no message. He told himself not to overthink. She was working. She was mingling. That's what people did at these events. But then his mind began to wonder, what if someone else was there? Someone who made her laugh a little louder, lean in a little closer. Someone who wasn't him. He tried to shake it off. He stood up, walked to the kitchen, poured himself a glass of water, then sat back down. At 9:27 p.m., his phone finally lit up. "Ava. Hey love, wrapping up now. Should be home in about 30 minutes." It was a sweet message. Kind, thoughtful, normal. And yet, Logan stared at the screen longer than he needed to. He noticed the heart emoji. Was that just her being sweet or trying to overcompensate? Was he being ridiculous for wondering? When she walked in the door at 10:03, he greeted her with a soft smile, but something in his tone had changed. It was subtle, but she noticed. Ava tilted her head slightly, asking if he was okay. "Yeah," he replied, "just tired," but the truth was heavier than that. Something had cracked open inside Logan that night, not anger, not accusation, just a quiet question that refused to go away. A whisper in the back of his mind that said, "What if she's better off without me? Or worse, what if she already thinks so?" That was the first time Logan felt it. Jealousy, not loud or explosive, but slow burning like smoke curling in the corner of a room. Unseen at first, but impossible to ignore once you smelled it. The next morning, sunlight poured through the window blinds, casting faint lines across the kitchen floor. Ava stood at the stove, flipping pancakes, her hair loosely tied up, wearing one of Logan's old college t-shirts. She looked peaceful, completely unaware of the storm brewing quietly inside him. Logan sat at the counter, sipping lukewarm coffee, staring at her like she was both the love of his life and someone he didn't fully understand. He knew it was irrational. He knew she hadn't done anything wrong, but that tiny voice from last night was still there, whispering doubts that clung to his thoughts like static. Ava turned to face him, plate in hand. "Did you sleep okay?" she asked, placing the food in front of him with a soft smile. "Yeah," he lied, stabbing a fork into the stack of pancakes without looking up. "Just didn't feel great." She leaned against the counter, arms crossed, eyes narrowing slightly, not in anger, but concern. "You've been quiet since last night. Did something happen?" Logan hesitated. For a split second, he thought about brushing it off again, but the tension in his chest was too heavy to ignore. "I don't know," he began, voice low. It's probably stupid. When you were out last night, I kept thinking, what if you were with someone else? What if someone there liked you? What if you liked them back? Ava blinked, caught off guard, but she didn't get defensive. Instead, she exhaled slowly and walked around the counter to sit beside him. Logan, she said softly, I need you to hear this. I was at a hotel lounge filled with middle-aged execs who only talked about market trends and brand metrics. For 3 straight hours. The highlight of my night was sneaking into the hallway just to get fresh air. She smiled, trying to lighten the moment. No one there compared to you. He glanced at her, trying to read her face, looking for cracks anything. That might prove she wasn't telling the full truth. But all he saw was her eyes, sincere and steady. I showed you my messages before, right? She added. I have nothing to hide. If something ever felt off to you, I'd rather you ask me straight than torture yourself with the worst case scenario. Logan swallowed hard, nodding. I know. I do. It's just, it got in my head, and once it was there, it kept growing. She reached out and took his hand. Then next time it starts to grow, say something. Don't sit in it alone. We're a team, remember? There was a long pause. Logan looked down at their hands, her thumb gently brushing over his. For the first time in hours, he felt something loosen in his chest. Maybe she was right. Maybe the only way to fight the doubt was to stop facing it alone. But deep down, he knew jealousy never really disappears. It just waits quietly, hoping for another crack to slip through, and maybe that crack was still coming. For the next few days, things between Logan and Ava seemed better. They shared coffee in the mornings, laughed over takeout dinners, even planned a weekend trip to Joshua Tree. And yet, beneath all the small talk and soft smiles, Logan still carried that flicker of doubt like a shadow that refused to disappear completely. He didn't want to be that guy, the insecure boyfriend who snoops or second-guesses the woman he loves. But the thought was there, gnawing at him quietly, especially when Ava's phone buzzed and she didn't immediately check it, or when she stepped into another room to take a call on a quiet Sunday evening while Ava was in the shower and her phone lay charging on the kitchen counter. It happened, one buzz, then another, then a third. Logan looked up from his laptop. He wasn't trying to spy, at least that's what he told himself, but the screen lit up just enough for him to catch a name. Ryan Work, followed by a preview of a message. You really lit up the room last week. Hope we get paired again soon. The emoji. That stupid, smug little wink. It punched a hole straight through Logan's chest. He froze. Time slowed. Ryan Work? Was that the same guy she mentioned from the mixer? He thought it was just a harmless colleague. She had mentioned him casually, said he was new to the team, nothing special. But that message didn't sound harmless. It didn't sound professional. It sounded personal. Logan stared at the phone like it was some kind of ticking bomb. His heart thudded in his ears. 1,000 thoughts raced through his mind at once. Was she hiding this? Did she like the attention? Had she already replied? He didn't open the phone. He didn't need to. The damage was already done. The bathroom door creaked open behind him, and Ava appeared, wrapped in a towel drying her hair, humming softly to herself. He looked up, startled, and quickly tried to act normal to normal. You okay? She asked, noticing the stiffness in his shoulders. Yeah, he said flatly, eyes darting away. Just tired again. Ava paused, sensing the sudden shift. You sure? Logan nodded, but inside, everything felt off balance. That one message had unraveled all the trust she'd worked so hard to rebuild. And what killed him most was she hadn't even done anything. Not yet, at least. But now, the seed had been planted. He couldn't stop replaying the words. You really lit up the room. Paired again soon. Paired how? Ava reached for her phone and checked the screen, smiling slightly, typing a quick reply. Logan noticed she was smiling like it was built on glass, and he could feel the first crack, the smile. That damn smile. It replayed in Logan's mind like a broken record, even hours after it happened. Ava had smiled at her phone, not at him. not because of him but at a message from Ryan. You really lit up the room. That line stuck in his head like a thorn under skin, impossible to ignore. Logan didn't say anything that night. He didn't ask, didn't accuse. He simply shut down. The next morning, he left early without waking her. He skipped their usual breakfast, didn't leave a note, didn't send a text. Instead, he drove to his workshop across town and stayed there for hours, fiddling with tools he didn't need, fixing things that weren't broken just to keep his hands busy, his mind distracted. Ava texted him around noon. Ava, hey babe, everything okay? Didn't see you this morning. He stared at the message, fingers hovering over the screen, but he didn't reply. What could he say? No, I'm not okay because I saw you smile at a coworker's text and now my chest feels like it's been cracked in half. No, that would sound crazy. So he stayed silent. By the time he got home that evening, Ava was curled up on the couch, reading a book. She looked up and smiled, but it faltered when she saw his expression blank, distant, like he was physically present but emotionally 1,000 miles away. Hey, she said gently, you've been quiet lately. Want to talk about it? Logan shook his head, walking past her. Just tired. It was the third time he'd used that excuse, and she wasn't buying it anymore. Logan, she called after him, voice firmer now, what's going on with you? He stopped in the hallway, back turned, hands clenched. The air between them was thick. He could feel her concern pressing against his back like weight he didn't want to carry. I just need space, he muttered. That's all, space. That word hit her like a cold slap. She didn't say anything right away, just stared after him, trying to understand how everything had shifted so fast. In the bedroom, Logan sat on the edge of the bed, elbows on his knees, head in his hands. He wasn't angry. He wasn't even sure he was jealous anymore. What he felt was worse, disconnected, like he and Ava were no longer speaking the same language. She had offered him the truth. She had opened up, but the doubt had already taken root, and now it was growing wild, choking everything else out. Later that night, they lay in the same bed, just inches apart, but facing opposite directions. No words, no goodnight kiss, just silence, and in that silence, Logan realized something terrifying. He was beginning to build walls, tall, quiet, invisible walls, and Ava. She didn't even know they were going up. The silence between them had become a third presence in the apartment, quiet, heavy, impossible to ignore. It followed them from room to room like a ghost. Ava felt it in the way Logan no longer touched her shoulder when he passed by, and how he barely looked up when she spoke. He had gone cold, and she didn't know why, but she had a feeling. It was Wednesday evening when it finally cracked. They were eating dinner takeout again. The food sat between them on the table untouched. Ava pushed a piece of chicken around with her fork, her appetite gone. I can't do this anymore, she said suddenly, her voice low but steady. Logan blinked, looked up from his plate. Do what? This, she gestured between them, whatever this is. You're here, but you're not. You haven't looked me in the eyes in days. You're shutting me out and I don't even know why. He leaned back in his chair, crossed his arms. You know why? She stared at him, confused, frustrated. No, Logan, I don't, unless you're going to tell me what I did wrong. I'm left guessing and I'm exhausted. Logan hesitated, jaw tight. Then, finally, it came out. I saw the message, he said. Ava blinked. What message? From Ryan, he said, quieter now. The one where he said you lit up the room. The wink emoji. She let out a breath, the realization hitting her like a wave. You saw that, and you didn't say anything? I didn't need to, Logan replied. You smiled when you saw it. Ava stood up, half laughing, half furious. Are you serious right now? That's what all this has been about. One compliment from a coworker and suddenly I'm guilty of something? It's not just the message, he shot back. It's the way you looked when you read it, like it made your night. And what? I'm not allowed to smile at my phone anymore. Logan didn't answer. He looked away, jaw clenched again. The storm inside him showing on his face. I've been honest with you, she said, her voice shaking. Every time you doubted me, I told you the truth. I opened up. I tried. But you just let your silence speak for you. You let it punish me. He stood now too, hands on the table, eyes dark. I didn't want to explode. I was trying to stay calm. No, she said, tears welling in her eyes. You weren't calm. You were gone. There it was the moment. The crack they both felt days ago had become a canyon, and now they stood on opposite cliffs, unsure if they could ever reach each other again. I don't want to lose you, Logan said finally, voice soft, broken. Then stop pushing me away, she whispered. The room fell silent again, but this time, the silence wasn't empty, it was full of everything they hadn't said, because the truth was clear now. If something didn't change, tomorrow might be the day they both let go. What would you do if you were in Ava or Logan's shoes? We've all been in situations where trust is tested, where one message, one moment, or even one smile can make everything feel uncertain. Maybe you've been Logan, feeling that quiet sting of doubt and not knowing how to talk about it. Or maybe you've been Ava, trying your best to reassure someone who's already pulling away. We want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments. Do you think Logan overreacted, or was his gut telling him something real? Did Ava do enough to be open with him, or should she have handled things differently? Your insight might help someone else going through the same thing. And if you've ever been in a similar situation, don't be afraid to share your story. We're here to listen. And hey, if this story hit a little too close to home, don't forget to subscribe and join us again tomorrow. The next chapter will dive even deeper into what happens when love and doubt collide. Let's talk about it right here in the comments, because sometimes the most powerful part of a story is how it makes you feel.